Hi guys, I am your fairy goddess Shondolyay, and I am here to help you raise your vibrations as I assist myself with doing the same. Well, some of the things that we'll talk about today is waking up, experiencing this thing that they're calling the awakening, right? It's really scary. I do know that. There's some freaky things that happened to me as I was waking up, and I'll share those things with you. Today, actually, what I'm going to do is take you guys with me. I'm going to bring you along as I do my makeup for today. As you can see, I'm still dressed in my robe. I haven't got dressed yet. But I wanted to share this time with you guys. And doing videos is something that I've been so afraid of doing. Every time I think about it, I just get so nervous. So I figured maybe bring them along with you while you're doing something with your hands. It usually distracts us mentally a little bit and assist us out. So, I am an empath. I do consider myself an empath due to the fact that I've noticed even before this awakening situation, after my traumatic situation went, after I experienced the death of my oldest son, things just started happening, and I knew it wasn't natural. Okay. So I know I'm rambling, and I probably will do that because, like most of you, I'm just waking up, right? So I'm just experiencing this. I don't know much about it, but the things that I have learned, I figured that my place here on earth is to assist those coming behind me. So this is the reason that I am going to make this my best effort, right? Because I do want to assist others. Like I said, it was very weird. It was very scary for myself. I didn't have anyone to really show me the way, but besides YouTube. And when I found others on YouTube that was going through what I was going through, I mean, like immediately after I went through the experience, I started freaking out. I started with we go through these transitional stages. This whole awakening, it goes through stages. It's not just something that happens to you and is over tomorrow, right? So through these stages, you're going to experience a whole mess of things. Some are happy feelings, some are really scary feelings. You go through the darkness of yourself, dark shadows, and you begin finding out who you truly are. For example, when I first started, even though I lived the life of, this female Shondolyay, nicknamed Pumpkin, by my grandfather, that same grandfather, I began realizing, hey, he did have a bow and arrow on his wall. He did have that rifle. I do remember the headgear. I remember all of that. And then I go back and I look at the pictures of him, and there's this favorite one of he and I. And I promise you, we look so much the same. I never considered myself looking like my grandfather. It was always my mom, right? But in this picture, and oh my God, I gotta show you guys this picture. I'm gonna bring it up and I'll show you one day, if not today in this video. But looking at that picture, I can see the cheekbones. Yes, those are important. They are very important. When you're trying to figure out who you are, you can start when you do begin your journey, you'll start seeing different features, even in your pot belly. That pot belly means something. In your eyes. I don't know if you can really see them, but I have this hazel kind of brown eyes that I've always heard people say, oh, you have the most dreamy, pretty hazel brown eyes. And when I look in the mirror, I don't see that, but others do. So it's not important. As long as I know who I am, as long as I begin to find out who I am, right? The oval eyes, That's another key gesture of finding out who I am. Now, let's go back to the cheekbone. I think I'm moving a little too fast, but the cheekbones, that gave me an indication when I went and started researching my family lineage. All of this O negative information began coming forward to me. The information was being presented to me. I didn't have to go out and search. It was just all downloading. It was all getting downloaded. Now it would get downloaded through videos, radio stations. I would go out into the world and people would just walk up to me with these books, and the book is entitled "Are You an Empath?" and she showed me the author's name and was like, "You really need to go get it." It was like she knew who I was, even though I didn't know who I was. She knew who I was, and before we departed, it was just such a loving vibration, and it was one of those things like, I don't know how I'll see you again, but we know we'll meet again. You know what I mean? That type of thing. So it's a lot of interesting stuff. So anyway, I'm rambling. I know I should title this video "A Ramble." But anyway, so during this journey I found out that I was Blackfeet Indian. So from what I'm learning, I believe that it came down from a lineage of Blackfeet Indian. Then they was becoming known as the Cherokee Indian. The Cherokee Indian broke off into different little sections. So you had the Cherokee that moved west of the Mississippi, and those that went to different areas of the world. You know what I mean? And they was led to these different areas west of the Mississippi by European settlers who came in to take over the land. And I'm gonna let you do a little research, because I don't particularly know how to relate the information back out once I pull it in. Not quite yet. I do believe that I'm getting stronger with this, but I'll give you guys little pieces that you can go and research for yourself, right? So the Blackfeet Indian, I did figure that out. The Cherokee Indian is the same. It was just, as time goes, begins, labels are beginning to change, just like as far as us being, Negro, and then a Negro, and then freedmen, and colored people, and it's just a bunch of labels, that's all. But anyway, then we ended up becoming the Choctaw Indians of Mississippi, right? Now, I also noticed then that, okay, I do remember that. So now I know I am that Blackfoot Indian, Cherokee, Choctaw. All right. So now, there were downloads coming in from my father's side. Now, my grandfather that I was just speaking of, that's from my mother's side. That's my mother's father, the Cherokee, the Blackfoot Indian, right? Let's stay on my mom's side for right now. I also found out that my mom let me know that her mother, which is my grandmother, Granny Deal, she was an Irish woman. And I mean, I have to show you a picture of her too. Very fair white skin, okay? Beautiful gray long hair. Excuse me. And I remember loving her sitting down and talking to me about how I used to get up on her shoulders on the back of the couch, and I just used to play in her hair and do little different things to it, and how she just loved it and how relaxed it made her feel, and she would just go to sleep. And trust me, in her head, I love the story. I could just imagine myself doing this. And I know that when I had my own daughter, and my son. That was one of the things that I just loved. I remember it was membered a little. I'm sorry, I'm getting tight tongue. Slow down. But I do remember with my children, that was one of the most relaxing moments of our days. I would just lay down and allow them to play in my head while I sleep. That's what ends up happening every time. But I'll wake up and I'll have a head full of gel or a head full of Vaseline. You think I cared, honey? It felt so good. And hold on, by the way, I do supposed to be doing my makeup as we going through this, don't I? Okay, I put my lashes on already because that is one that I'm really not. My hands are not steady, so I didn't want to get on video doing that part with you guys and take it forever, you know. Well, what this is that I'm putting on now, this is a concealer. It's called a concealer, and due to the fact that I have very dark circles under my eyes, I love this. And then, as you can see, I have little dark spots, so I will put that on. So I guess this is a how to do makeup video as well. Well, how I do my makeup. And I here am showing you as well how to well, I'm showing you as well how I am attempting to change my everyday experience. I am so just rambling here, and I will do many more videos from this day on because people need this. I needed it. I know without the video, people like Aaron, what his name is, Aaron Downey, but his name, I know one of them is Victor and Aaron and The Naked Truth. Oh, I love her. Her name is Ronnie on The Naked Medium. Actually, she just gives such good information, so if anybody needs a little more help than what I can give right now, definitely go to her. So anyway, to complete up this family line, right? So my grandfather on my mother's side I found was Cherokee and Blackfeet. My grandmother on my mom's side I found was a full-blown Irish woman, and I did find out that the way they ended up meeting was when the Indians were doing trade. You know, the Indians would trade skin and rocks and different fighting tools and medicines, that type of thing, to different people, including the Irish at one time, for things that we needed when the Europeans came in and pretty much tried to kill us off by killing up all of our buffalo and taking our land, and we just had nothing to survive on. But being the original people of the land, of this land that they call America, that I truly believe is from back before now of being America, was Atlantis. So we are Atlanteans from the land of Atlantis. We are warriors. We're actually warriors. And that is one of the things that these people, and when I say these people, the government, white supremacists, they are afraid of us finding out who we actually are. Because if you guys know anything about the Native Americans that was here, settled here before any European came about, you will, I'm sure you understand that we were spiritually connected to Source. Okay, whatever you call it, God, Source, what else we call them? I call them my higher self, actually. because we are souls. This here on the outside is actually just a vessel that soul that's connected to higher self is speaking through, communicating through. So without that soul, the shell will just lay dormant. So that's why when we die, the bury his body, but the soul ascends. Got that one. Okay, so let's go back now. Also, so in before I go on, what I was just trying to say was that those native people, my ancestors, had spiritual connections, and it gave us the ability to get these downloads that I'm receiving, and I didn't know what the heck was going on. That gave us that ability to receive them, right? And to be able to speak to our ancestors and receive back in as well those answers from them. I tell you, that is so real. It really is. It's so much to this information here. So I probably will have so many rambles. But anywho, I need to understand, and I really would like for you guys to understand as well. Not understand, not from beneath, but within. So things that are so is above is also below. Things that we experience outside ourselves, we also experience inside. So I need to understand what is happening to me and what is happening to this universe. Raise my vibration. So one of the things that I learned to raise my vibration is laughter is the key. Laughter, love. Use those L words, honey. Laughter and love. Can nothing bring up your vibration better than the act of laughing and loving. All right. Now, one thing I do need you guys to know is that we are eternal beings, and we're experiencing this human earthly experiences. Let's just put it plain and simple, right? So we're an internal being encountering human experiences, right? So in other words, when our bodies, these shells, lay down to rest, we don't go anywhere. Our souls, everything around us is energy, right? Energy cannot be destroyed. Therefore, when we lay our bodies down, when our family members pass away, let's say my oldest son who passed away, and just to mention 2 years ago, I've been doing it. I've been seeking, learning, in depression, crying, laughing. It's something else. But his body laid down, but his soul ascended. I remember when he first passed away, and I was so sad, and social media can be a total drag, but sometimes it's useful because I remember looking in someone, I don't remember who it was, I believe it was a cousin, and I'm not going to even say the name, but I believe it was Keisha. Let's just say I am going to say it. But thank you, Keisha, if that was you. But I remember someone telling me, I feel for you, but I wish I had my own guardian angel as well. And I truly didn't know what that meant. Until one day I was laying there on this couch with so much depression, so much pain, and I felt my son rubbing on my hair. I felt him. And I know that sounds a little kooky, weird, whatever you want to call it, but it helped me know that he's still here. See, when we start going through this, it's a lot of stuff that we'll hear. We'll get those downloads, but it takes so much to accept it, And that is one of the things that I wanted to talk about after I finish up my lemon share. So, So that's my mother's side, right? Then downloads became obvious that my father's side was African. The Gullah Geechee people, Gullah Geechee of North Carolina, South Carolina, where these ships came in, the boat, Jesus, and it settled. They dropped us off from Africa, my father's side of the family. Yeah. Gullah Geechee people, the same cultures, the same spirituality, the same foods, the same way we like to dance and dress and celebrate and laugh, and the art building with my hands. Oh my God, I gotta show you guys some of the things that I've been doing. Oh wow. And I do believe this came from my African side, my Afrocentric side of myself, my soul, right? This came from my father's mother's side. Now my father's father, I never knew him, but I'm quite certain that my father's father was Afrocentric, was an African being as well, full melanated. Okay, so my melanin don't look so dark. This is because I'm what? Not only that African being that gives me that melanin in my skin, but I have that Indian, and I also have that Irish DNA in me. All three. African, Indian, Irish. Right? So this is what gives me my color, my eyes, my body structure, my language, my culture, spirituality. Oh, church, I let the religion thing go. I just don't do religion at all. Spirituality is what resonates best with me. I've tried so many times to do the church thing. My mom actually had us in church. I believe it was one day that we was free of church, and that had to be on a Thursday. Yeah. Even Saturday. Yeah. Saturday was youth car wash day. The youth center, the youth of the church, we went to the church every Saturday, and we washed cars for the community, and that money raised money for us to go on different field trips like Yale University. Oh, I love that. It was so lovely, but it was fun, but now that I do truly need the teachings of my culture, the teachings of my spirituality, the teachings of my life, the churches, most of them are controlled by the government. Let's just say that. Okay? So there are certain things that they can and certain things that they can't share with you. Right? Okay, so actually everything we need is already inside of us. And once we tap into those things, they represent themselves in your hand, pretty much. And when I say in your hand, it just means into reality. From here to outside of you. From here to outside of you. Into reality. That's what we call manifesting. And all of us can do this. It's just the fact of letting go of the things that we need to let go of to connect, and receiving the things and sitting in our quietness. Being still. Not all the distractions around that keeps us from getting there, keep us from hearing our actual over spirit. And when I say over spirit, I really means my I am side of me. See, I am me and I am I. I look at the I as the inner, that soul, and me as the shell, the vehicle that God uses on this earth. When I agreed to come here, when I heard the call, I made an agreement, just as well as you guys, that I would come and help. Alright? So now I am in the stage of getting off my butt and actually helping, right? So, we went through that, so now you should know who I am. I am a French Indian Afrocentric being. That's who I am. I also relate to being an empath and a starseed. Okay? So, like I said, I am Goddess Shondolyon, and I am here to help you with your ascension process. As well as help myself, because if you guys notice, when you teach others, you learn better, right? So, I have noticed that I've been sitting in this stupor since my son passed away. And let's just be clear, my son was Anton Mertice James Jr. He was such a beautiful soul. And I hate when people get up from the computer, but I need to do this one moment. Let me show you. Okay. And see, now I get a chance to show you some of the things. Well, one of the things that I've built as well. Been doing with my hands. So, like I said, my son, Anton James Jr., Anton Mertice James Jr. was a beautiful young man. And sometimes the universe gets us ready for things that's going to happen, and we don't even know what's happening, right? So, this child of mine, my oldest son, by decisions of our own, we separated. When he was like 16, he didn't want to, he didn't approve of my way of teachings. So he left me and came to South Bend with his uncle. And, from there, he ended up in a lot of different situations, but the kid had a beautiful life. He left me with 7 grandchildren. You hear me? No, I have to correct that. He left me with 6, and my baby son is going to have my 7th one here next month. All right. This is my son, Anton, and I made this as well. I actually took a piece of foam, threw some glitter on it and glue. This is one of my earrings. I just, Okay, this is my son, Anton. And I don't know if you can see him from the glare of the computer, but he was a beautiful young man, and I loved him so much. This is my grandson, Travion, whose birthday was actually yesterday, and Grandma, miss you, baby. Mwah, I love you. And since the passing of my son, the relationship with his mom and I has not been strong because there's different situations going on with that. I believe she had something to do with his death, and I just been trying to keep myself safe, and the others in our family. But anyway, yes, that's my Bobo. I love my Bobo. And this is my Travion, and this is one of the pieces that I made, and this is one of the pieces that I made to go with it. This is just a gobbler, a liquor gobbler. And since I stopped drinking the spirits, I decided to take the bottle, and there's a light that goes in there and you shake it and it glows at night. But I matched it up with a few pieces few other pieces that I made, and these are my altar pieces. So yes, I made my son an altar, and at the repast, my cousin Felicia, I love you, Felicia, shouts out to you, and my auntie Mary, they actually gave me a plant. And I look at this plant as a healing plant now. You know, I don't know if you can see the shadows of it, but it's all in all of that light part. There's actually stems all everywhere. I don't know if you can see that. Let's see. I'm going to turn the camera around, see if you guys can see it. Can you see the window with my baby? That is also Anton in the middle, which is Bobo, Shondolyon on the left side, and my baby son, which is the baby plant there, Jabari. But yes, you see how much Anton is growing? We're growing together. That plant was nowhere near like that. I brought it all the way from Mississippi. But I just love it. But that's one of my prized creations. I'm using the gifts that I'm learning. I have different moon cycle points. You know, that's another one that you go look up. Our moon cycles, females, the women, my sisters, I love you. Check out your moon cycles. Our menstrual cycles align with the moon in very special ways. I did not know this, so I don't know why the heck I would come on one time, you know, then 2 weeks later, then none for 2 months, and it was just a mess. But I had to go in and learn who I am and learn what's going on. If you guys noticed, at the beginning of my video, I did let you know that I am your fairy goddess, right? So I think I should share why I stated that. You see my ears? And I know I'm probably showing my tracks. But do you see my ears? My ears, usually people have folds right there. It usually folds up. And this would be a good time to put my hairpin on and get my makeup done. But yeah, usually people have folds in their ears, and I know every baby that come out, I check for this, right? But yeah, I don't have that fold. The fold that you guys usually have, I don't have it at all. I noticed this as a young girl, very young girl, and they both are like that. And I remember when I noticed it and I asked my mom about it, why is my ears different than everyone else? She used to joke about it and tell me, oh girl, don't worry, you're Dr. Sparks' daughter. Just tell them you're Dr. Sparks' daughter. And that's what I did, to keep the kids to leave me alone. You know what I'm saying? Why are you bothering me? So what? I'm different. You know, I already didn't like that because I was one of those kids that had the reoccurring dreams, and the dreams that I'll be having, and my mom wake me up and that person is actually no, it wasn't that same person. It was actually a reoccurring dream of my father falling into a ditch. But the first time my mom woke me up from having that dream, she woke me up and told me that my favorite auntie in the world at that time, which was my mother's sister's sister, had passed away. I was supposed to go to work with her that morning, as myself and some of my other sister, my sister and some of my other cousins used to do it with her often, as we would go to work with her. She worked at a daycare center. She was such a loving person, and she pretty much looked just like my grandmother, and her name was Ankil. But the first time that I was awakened from that dream, I love earrings. But anyway, the first time I was wakened from that dream, it was my Ankil. I was laying there dreaming about my father, but it was actually my aunt passed away. Yeah. And it hurted so much. And I don't know if I went through any type of awakening process at that moment, but I do remember being that kid walking down the street and hearing these voices. I didn't know that it was myself. I didn't know what it was. Actually, I just remember it happening. And I remember communicating with that voice. And at one time in high school, I remember walking down the street and noticing that every car came past, I already knew what color it was going to be. It kind of frightened me, so I would say, now, if the next car go past and it's red, something's wrong with me, So, yeah, I grew up thinking something was wrong with me, not knowing that this was information that had just been hidden from us. This is natural, and it just been hidden from us. It's our souls. Some of us have them. We all have them, but some of us are more connected to it. And usually when traumatizing situations like that death of my uncle, it gives you that jerk, that shock, that jerk, that shock that you need to make you just aware. It's like your ancestors are saying, hey, we're talking to you. Listen. She need a shake. Let's take one of her favorite things from her uncle. Oh my God. You're talking about pain. Then my grandmother, on my father's side, that Gullah Geechee woman. So I don't want to start crying, right? But that is something that we do need to talk about as well. Is facing your grief. Don't run away from it. I tried that so long, and that's why I believe it's taken me so long to get up off my butt, off that couch, out of grief, out of depression, and make this video. Now, I did make 2 videos. They were so depressing, though. I still wasn't ready. I don't know if I'm ready now, but something today, not something, but Ronnie. Thank you, Ronnie. Shouts out to you, sweetheart. I love you. I literally love you. I love us all. That's another thing. When my son passed away, the only thing that I can remember from that day is going and finding him, not being able to see him. That's an organ harvesting situation, I do believe. Though I'm not gonna become the victim again, because when you make yourself a victim of things that happen to some of your loved ones, it holds you. It puts you on lock in this depressed stage of figuring out what is going on. And no, honey, I am finna put that in God's hands, my Most High, my Father, my Mother Earth, and let it go. We're going to let them handle that. Whatever happened, karma is a mother. And yes, I do believe in karma. I know some don't, but yes, I do believe in karma, Okay, but I do believe that once you get to a certain level in your life, you don't have to worry about the karma anymore as well. A certain level of ascending, right? We know we won't have to worry about karma coming back to us. So that's something you can look up as well, right? And I know I probably done skipped a lot of stuff, and I wish you guys was here to help me. But that is something I have to get better with as well. My nerves and being afraid. Fear can stop you from doing some amazing things in this world. With the internet being so popular, I remember it was a time where I was trying to teach people how to turn a computer on. But with it becoming so well populated, every home have a computer in it. Most homes, if they don't have the computer, they have cell phones, and the internet is everywhere. Now we're getting 5G. But anyway, okay, so I don't know where the hell I am, but hey, let's just keep going. I do have a few notes, even though my eyesight is so bad I can't read that. But yeah, I have notes everywhere. I've been learning, guys. I'm waking up with you, right? So I have notes there. I have notes everywhere. This is a scrapbook that I got for myself, and I'm going to start using this. Today is the day. And today is today. Yesterday is a day that I last had my last smoke of marijuana. I won't say my last, but the last I've had it for now, right? So I want to clear my system, and not so much clear my system of marijuana, like something's wrong with marijuana or something, because it's not, obviously. But I would like to fast. And I believe that when you fast, you should, most people think of fasting as just stop eating, right? To me, fasting is sacrifice. So you know how I believe in it as sacrificing the thing that you most love, right? So marijuana was one of the things that I just had to have. I can see that I can't say I am addicted, because I thought about it maybe once today. My last time having any was yesterday afternoon, and I ran out. I fell asleep. I did a bunch of dreaming, good dreaming for empaths, star seeds, indigo children. It's a very good thing to do. You'll see that you'll have dreams that actually come to be at certain points, right? But yeah, I do remember one of the things I was talking about was my ears. So that fairy goddess, Shondolyon, fairy goddess, it's because one day I was sitting here and I was talking to someone, and they had my vibration so low, and I passed the phone off to my daughter, and as I'm passing the phone at my daughter, I'm looking at my kitchen window, and a hummingbird just came right there and hovered in one of the squares, like there. One of the squares right there, the hummingbird just hovered. Such amazing to see a bird this small. Oh my God! Right in my face, at the point where I'm filled with so much anger. As soon as I saw this hummingbird, love entered my body. It's not entered because love is already in here. I must say that a different way, but it took over. The emotion was no longer anger. I was in love. So I immediately asked my daughter, get off the phone. We have to look this up. I am a researcher. I'm a seeker, right? You are too, don't worry. But yeah, we got off the phone. We looked up the hummingbird. The hummingbird led us to the fairies. And oh my God. I mean, aha moment. Is this why my ears like this? You know, I've accepted it. You know, I love the fact. I love butterflies. Butterflies, I believe, are my animal guides. Butterflies, hummingbirds. Yeah. Beautiful creatures. For some reason, squirrels. They're attracted. I don't have one. It's just every time I see a squirrel, hey, Mr. Squirrel, hey, Miss Squirrel Girl, what's going on? Good morning. You know, that's me. I mean, I know I'm silly, but I really feel that. I mean, it's funny, but so anyway, my brothers and sisters of celestial beings, I love you. And when I say I love you like I love myself. Okay, I believe that we're all intertwined by energy, because we're all energy anyway. And what I feel and what I do affects you. What you feel and what you do affects her, and so on, and me. So I love you guys. And when you hear me say this, I just need you to know that it's not just something I'm seeing. It's something I'm feeling. I love you all. And the last thing, that thing that I was going to tell you when my son first passed away, I just remember that day, all the family member gathering up at my daughter's house. She didn't take it very well at all. They were Bobo and Kiki. My daughter's nickname was Kiki, and my son's nickname was Bobo, and I had a booty, my baby. But Bobo and Kiki was my cartoon characters. They were my truth. If you notice in the cartoons, as you're awakening, you'll see so many subliminal messages that just tell you everything that's going on to you, with you, and on this earth right now. And it's been telling us. We just didn't know how to decode, right? So now that we're learning who we are and what's really going on, it starts coming out a little better, right? So, yeah. But that thing that I heard him say was, Mom, love everybody. Didn't know why he said that when someone just killed him. Shot him in his face. How could you be telling me to love everybody, son? But I didn't question it. I just said, okay. It was thundering. It was lightning. It was so dark outside. I don't know if this was the darkest night I've ever seen in my life, but it was dark. Oh, I love my banners back there. You guys see them. But yes, it was pure darkness. And I just remember looking up and having no fear of the lightning come, and I mean striking hard. Whoa! With noises where you could tell somebody important just passed away. I mean, whoa! The sounds were just thunderous and lightning and rain, and it was so crazy. And I'm standing out there in this, and I'm crying, and he's just saying, Mom, love everybody. I'm sorry. Raise those vibrations, right? I need you guys' help too sometimes. As you see, oh man, it was something awful, but yeah, that's what we was talking about. Don't run from that grief. So if I've learned that if I feel like crying, if I feel like taking a day away from the world, I do just that. Because you'll learn if you'll start seeing that once you start paying attention to your body, if you don't purge and let that stuff out, when you're feeling anger, if you don't sit down and actually relate to that and understand and talk to yourself and ask you, why am I feeling this way? And figure it out. And let it out. Go somewhere to a empty room or an empty house with a loved one. When there's no one here but me, I can just scream and yell to the top of my lungs and purge. Or cry. Or just simply relax. Take a bath. Sit in it. Because if you don't accept it, if you run away from that grief, you're most empathic people, you'll notice that you have a lot of stomach issues. Because that's all of that energy, that negative energy, sitting there. It don't have anywhere to go. You're not purging it. You're not letting it out. So it's sitting in there. And guess what? That energy, remember, everything is energy. Meaning this lighter, this ashtray, everything, this book, everything is energy, right? So energy turns into physical form, right? So if you got all of this negative energy in your body into those lower chakras, which should be released, and you need to keep those chakras cleared out, you know? But if it's sitting there, what are you going to feel around those lower chakras? Pain, heaviness, a lot of pain. And I went through that last week. Just a couple of days ago. As a matter of fact, just yesterday. yesterday, I thought that I could call my son's old phone and hear his voice. It was the worst mistake of my life. I can't say that though, because another thing that I've learned is that source brings you what you need. And sometimes we need to cry to get that energy out, like you just said. And again, I was in pain, so much pain. Didn't realize that that pain was coming from my son passed away. Check this out. Today is July 30th, 2019. Correct? My son passed August 2nd, the night of August 2nd, 2017. So in other words, in 2 days will be that day. And all of that negative energy was building up. And I was trying to escape from it. And it wouldn't let me. I was in so much pain. So the universe brought a way to force me to relieve it, to purge from it. I called that phone. I did my crying and screaming. And once it was over, I felt so much better. And I was able to go on now and create, take a shower, love myself again. Because when you're in that type of situation, those type of feelings, when you're in your emotions like that, it's hard to love yourself. You'll find yourself going without showers, any makeup. I haven't been out this house. In the last 2 years, I could count on my hand. Just one. Just one. Only one. Besides, when I tried to run away from my grief, as soon as he passed away and jumped into the school bus road. So, all of this training and thinking and teaching myself, self-teaching. So the techniques that I needed to successfully gain the CDLAs and receive the school bus license, and it was just running from the grief. I was trying not to think about it. I was using that to hide what I was feeling, to hide the death of my son. The emotions was just getting covered all up. That's all. Until I just couldn't take it no damn more. I left that job. Well, I actually got fired from that job. Because then, and see, I'm speaking my truth here. It just feels better when you speak your truth. And when there's another thing, when you open it up and you're speaking your truth out, we're opening our chakras, right? So we'll be more that assists you with connection, with connecting to source, allowing him to speak to you a little more, right? Speak your truth. Anyway, my truth is that I was smoking marijuana while I was doing this school bus job, right? And the children, high school children here in South Bend, Riley High School, you guys, I let the little kids off, and I decided I wanted to check my bus before I let the bigger kids on. And so I told the children, hold on, let me make sure there's no one on here. The kids didn't want to hold on. They was excited. Time to go, I guess. I guess they felt like we feel when we get off work. It's time to get the fuck out of here, But anyway, those kids started rocking my bus till I felt it like, what the? Then my old man was working at this high school now. And I heard him screaming. But them children connected my bus to the bus in front of me. I got weed in my system. That was my job. Well, Source didn't let me go there. He took me right on to the city work. You know. I'm going to cut this video short right now because I do see companies coming in and it's just going to destroy what I'm doing. So I'll talk to you guys later. Bye. I'll raise those frequencies back up. Don't worry. I'll get back into the habit. Laughter is key.